looking around us, we can see all of the wonders and beauty that coexists with the one we experience through our bodily senses of sight, sound, taste, and feeling. A mystical place known as the astral plane or astral world. Before we get started, we need to understand what an astral body is. Let's take a deeper look, shall we? An astral body is a subtle body posited by many philosophers, intermediate between the intelligent soul and the mental body, composed of a subtle material. The concept was described in the philosophy of Plato. It is related to an astral plane, which consists of the planetary heavens of astrology. The term was also adopted by 19th century theosophists and neo-Rosicrucians. The idea is rooted in common worldwide religious accounts of the afterlife, in which the soul's journey or ascent is described in such terms as an ecstatic, mystical, or out-of-body experience, wherein the spiritual traveller leaves the physical body and travels in her subtle body, also known as the dream body or astral body, into higher realms. Hence, the many kinds of heavens, hells, and purgatorial existences.
Just waiting for some people to come on in. Waiting to see who's gonna come on in. I know it's been a while. I've been gone for a long time, but I'm back.
The astral body is sometimes said to be visible as an aura of swirling colours. It is widely linked today with out-of-body experiences.
Got quite a few things I'd like to talk about today.
The word astral means of the stars. Thus, the astral plane, consisting of the celestial spheres, is held to be an astrological phenomenon. The whole of the astral portion of our Earth and of the physical planets, together with the purely astral planets of our system, make up collectively the astral body of the solar logos. There are 7 types of astral matter, by means of which psychic changes occur periodically. Such ideas greatly influenced medieval religious thought and are visible in the Renaissance medicine of Paracelsus and Servetus.
Okay, we got a couple people here.
Alongside the discovery of electromagnetism and the nervous system, there came a new interest in the spirit world. Franz Anton Mesmer, German physician, whose system of therapeutics, known as mesmerism, was the forerunner of the modern practice of hypnotism, spoke of the stars, animal magnetism, and magnetic fluids. In 1801, the English occultist Francis Barrett wrote of a herb's excellent astral and magnetic powers, planetary influences. In the mid-19th century, the French occultist Eliphas Levi wrote much of the astral light, a factor he considered of key importance to magic, alongside the power of will and the doctrine of correspondences. He considered the astral light the medium of all light, energy and movement, describing it in terms that recall both Mesmer and the luminiferous ether. Levi's idea of the astral was to have much influence in the English-speaking world through the teachings of the Golden Dawn. But it was also taken up by Helena Blavatsky and discussed in the key work of Theosophy, The Secret Doctrine. Levi seems to have been regarded by later Theosophists as the immediate source from which the term was adopted into their 7-fold schema of planes and bodies, though there was slight confusion as to the term's proper use. Blavatsky frequently used the term astral body in connection with the Indian Linga Sharira, which is one of the 7 principles of human life. However, she said that there are various astral bodies. For example, she talked of one as being constituted by the lower manas and volition, karma. According to the theosophical founder, William Q. Judge,
all right, I got a couple people here. I want to see if more people gonna come on in. think I'm gonna do a short marathon tonight. I think I'm gonna ride out maybe till about 11 o'clock this evening. I might start it and restart it again. What's my name? Hi, bro. Let me see. It's been a while since I've used this thing, so let me see if I can. All right. Pascal. That's my name. Okay. In the meantime, I've been working all day, taking care of business, so I'm actually gonna be eating something right now while I'm on this live. I got a lot I want to talk about. I got a lot I want to share with the people. You know, especially right now with the state of the economy right now. There's a lot going on, so I think it's information that can be beneficial to a lot of people. Actually, I know it's information that's going to be beneficial to a lot of people. Can you hear me, by the way? Is the audio good? Can y'all hear me clearly? Just put that in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. All right, perfect. All right. I got some chicken Alfredo I'm eating right now. I'm getting ready to start doing more video. My goal is I'm actually getting ready to do a world tour. I'm going to be traveling quite a bit, and I'm actually going to be, while I'm traveling, I'm going to be doing real estate transactions. So this is going to be, I have two more channels where I'm going to be doing my real estate transactions. I wanted to keep this channel potentially for doing just readings and things like that. But I want you guys to get over to my other channel. But I'm waiting for some more people to come in. It's all good, man. If you don't care, you know, you shouldn't be listening. It just don't make no sense, man. Yo, this person got on here and said he don't care. You funny, man. Whoever you are, you're funny. Let's see here. How you doing, Abby? And what's this other guy's name? Mr. Capalot? Mr. Capalot be capping, huh? I'm good, I'm good. Appreciate you asking. Yeah, so I just wanted to get in here. I got a lot of information to share. I think will be beneficial to people. Listen, I'm not trying to get like a whole bunch of subscribers type situation. I'm really on here trying to share information because I think, you know, most people are not. They're just trying to get subscribers, get views. I'm actually looking to build a community where I can actually meet up with you people face to face. I mean, obviously, if you guys are real people, because you know we got a lot of robots on the internet these days. So I'm looking to build something genuine and real with the people. Bye bye. We got 5 people in. Let's see how many we can get in here so we can get this message out. I'm gonna be on here for a long time, so you guys can leave, come back, whatever. But I'm waiting to see if I can get at least. I got about close to 600 subscribers, but I'm waiting to see if I can get at least a couple of hundred people in here. What's up, Duty? What's up, Duty? What's going on with you, Abby? My younger cousin used to always use that XD mean. What does XD mean? Maybe I'm old. I don't know. But she used to use it all the time, and I never really asked her what it was. What does XD mean? XD. It's other signs. What? It's other sign for laughing out loud. Oh, okay. All right. It's the laughing sign. Ah, I see. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let me get my dinner in. Going live. We're gonna be live for some time tonight. All right, we're done with that.
There are many names for the astral body. Here are a few. Lingasarera, Sanskrit, meaning design body, and the best one of all, ethereal double, phantom, wraith, apparition, doppelganger, personal man, peri-spirit, irrational soul, animal soul, Uta, elementary, spook, devil, demon. Some of these apply only to the
Spooks,
astral
devils, and
body when
demons.
devoid of the corpus
Got a lot of
after
those
death.
in the world.
According to Max Heindel's Rosicrucian writings, the desire body is
Any
made
more
of desire
questions about
stuff
anything?
from which human beings form feelings and emotions. It is said to appear to spiritual sight as an ovoid cloud extending from 16 to 20 inches beyond the
Any
physical
more
body.
questions, huh?
It has a number of whirling vortices or
Do you have any
chakras,
questions?
and from the main vortex in the region of the liver, there is a constant flow which radiates and returns. The desire body exhibits colors that vary in every person according to his
All
or
right.
her temperament and mood. However, the astral body or soul body must be evolved by means of the work of transmutation and will eventually be evolved by humanity as a whole. According to
Thank you.
Heindel,
Appreciate
the
that.
term astral body was employed by the medieval alchemists because of the ability it conferred to transverse the starry regions. The astral body is regarded as the philosopher's stone or living stone of the alchemist, the wedding garment of the Gospel of Matthew, and the soul body that Paul mentions in the first epistle to the Corinthians. Many other popular accounts of post-theosophical ideas appeared in the late 20th century. Barbara Brennan's Hands of Light distinguishes between the emotional
Get ready
body
for the
and
world
the
tour.
astral body. She sees these as two distinct layers in the seven-layered human energy field.
But it's going to be
The
on my other
emotional
channel.
body pertains to the physical universe, the astral body to the astral world.
How was your day? My day
The
was
mother
actually pretty good.
Sometimes referred
You know,
to the astral body and experiences on
It was pretty
the astral
busy.
plane.
Had a lot going on, but it was pretty
The
good.
Indian master Osho occasionally made use of a modified theosophical terminology. According to Samael Onweir, who popularized theosophical thought in Latin America, the astral body is the part of human soul related to emotions, represented by the Sephira Hod in the Kabbalistic tree of life. However, the common person only has a Kamarupa, body of desire, or lunar astral body, a body related to animal emotions, passions, and desires, while the true human emotional vehicle is the solar astral body,
Well,
which can be
I think
crystallized
if without
in a tantric
without
sex.
you guys,
The
streamers
solar
wouldn't be
astral
nothing.
body is the first mediator
So
between the
you guys
cosmic
make the
Christ,
streamers.
Chokmah, and the individual
So I think
human
we should
soul.
pay attention to you guys.
Many scientists
It makes sense.
claim there is no
The people
scientific evidence
people are the
that an
assets,
astral
are the true
body
assets.
exists.
So if you don't respect
Psychologist
and honor the
Jonathan
people,
Rawcliffe,
how could
who
you ever get
assumes
anywhere
the
in life?
existence of the astral body to
Any
be a myth,
business owner,
has written that delusions and hallucinations
any business owner,
due to asynesthesia or
they
hysteria
need to respect
have
the people.
undoubtedly helped to perpetrate the myth of the astral body. Despite there not being
Yeah?
any scientific
Alright.
evidence of the astral worlds, there is an amazing amount of spiritual evidence,
Why don't you
especially
stream?
surrounding the paranormal concept of astral projection. Astral projection, also known as astral travel, is a term used in esotericism to describe
You said
an
you have a
intentional
YouTube
out-of-body
channel,
experience,
but you don't
or
stream. Why?
OBE for short, that assumes the existence of a soul or consciousness called an astral body.
You're too young to stream. Oh. Are you over 18? Then you shouldn't be on here if you're under 18. You should, matter of fact, you should be in bed. It's bedtime for you. Where your parents at?
Called an astral body that is separate from the physical body and capable of traveling outside it throughout the universe. The idea of astral travel is ancient and occurs in multiple cultures. The modern terminology of astral projection was coined and promoted by 19th century theosophists. It is sometimes reported in association with dreams and forms of meditation.
I know I set this for anybody under
Some
18 not to be on
individuals have
here.
reported
So
perceptions
you must
similar
have
to descriptions of astral projection
not
that were
told the
induced
truth,
through various
so you can be
hallucinogenic
online.
and hypnotic means, including self-hypnosis. There is no scientific evidence that there is a consciousness
Mom and
or
dad is
soul,
separated.
which is separate from normal
A lot of
neural
people's
activity,
moms and dads are
or
separated.
one
What can
that
I say?
consciously leave the body and make observations. And astral projection has been characterized as a pseudoscience. On the other hand, there is some evidence that spontaneous out-of-body experiences are useful for psychotherapy. According to classical, medieval, and Renaissance Hermeticism, Neoplatonism, and later Theosophist and Rosicrucian thought, the astral body is an intermediate body of light, linking the rational soul to the physical body, while the astral plane is an
YouTube now
intermediate
and
world of
days
light between
are for
heaven and
under
earth,
18 people.
composed of the spheres
Nah, I
of
don't
the
think so.
planets and stars.
I don't think
These
so.
astral spheres were held to be populated by angels, demons, and spirits. The subtle bodies and their associated planes of existence form an essential part of the esoteric systems that deal with astral phenomena. In the Neoplatonism of Plotinus, for example, the individual is a
Yeah, if you're
microcosm of
supervised
the
by your
universe.
parents.
The rational soul is akin to the great soul of the world, while the material universe, like the body, is made as faded image of the
let me
intelligible.
check the account.
Each succeeding plane of manifestation is causal to the next, a worldview known as emanationism. From the one proceeds intellect, from intellect, soul, and from soul, in its lower
That doesn't
phase,
sound right.
nature, the material universe. Often, these bodies and their planes of existence are
Mom and
depicted
Dad
as a
doesn't care.
series of concentric circles
I don't think
or
that's
distant
true.
spheres, with a
Why do you
separate
say they
body
don't care?
traversing each realm. The idea of the astral figured prominently in the work of the 19th century French occultist Eliphas Levi, whence it was adopted and developed further by Theosophy and used afterwards by other esoteric movements. Authors and experts Ward Carrington, Sylvan Muldoon, Robert Peterson, and Jane Williams claim that the subtle body is attached to the physical body by means of a psychic silver cord. The final chapter of the Book of Ecclesiastes is often cited in this respect. Before the silver cord be loosed, or the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be shattered at the fountain, or the wheel be broken at the cistern. Sherman, however, contends that the context points to this being merely a metaphor, comparing the body to a machine, with the silver cord referring to the spine. Paul's second epistle to the
Are you
Corinthians
trolling me?
is more generally agreed to refer to the astral planes. I know a man in Christ who 14 years ago was caught up to the third
I
heaven.
think you're trolling me.
Whether it was in the body or out of the body, I do not know. God knows. This statement gave rise to the Visio Pauli, a tract that offers a vision of heaven and hell, a forerunner of visions attributed to Abdomnan and Nagdalis, as well as of Dante's Divine Comedy. Emanuel Swedenborg was one of the first practitioners to write extensively about the out-of-body
You don't
experience
troll.
in his spiritual diary.
Alright.
French philosopher and novelist Honoré de Balzac's fictional work Louis Lambert suggests he may have had some astral or out-of-body experience. Robert Munro's account of journeys to other realms popularized the term OBE and were translated into a large number of languages. Though his books themselves only placed secondary importance on descriptions of method, Munro also founded an institute dedicated to research, exploration, and non-profit dissemination of auditory technology for assisting others in achieving projection and related altered states of consciousness. Also known as Bob Munro, he was a radio broadcasting executive who became known for his research into altered consciousness and founding the Munro Institute. His 1971 book, Journeys Out of the Body, is credited with popularizing the term out-of-body experience. Munro achieved worldwide recognition as an explorer of human consciousness and out-of-body experiences. His research, beginning in the 1950s, produced evidence that specific sound patterns have identifiable beneficial effects on our capabilities. For example, certain combinations of frequencies appear to enhance alertness, others to induce sleep, and still others to evoke expanded states of consciousness. According to his third book, Ultimate Journey, he dropped out of Ohio State University his sophomore year due to a hospital stay for a facial burn that caused him to fall behind in his studies. During almost a year away from college, a desire to find work led him to become a hobo who rode freight trains. He returned to Ohio State to graduate after having studied pre-med, English, engineering, and journalism. According to his own account, while experimenting with sleep learning in 1958, Monroe experienced an unusual phenomenon, which he described as sensations of paralysis and vibration, accompanied by a bright light that appeared to be shining on him from a shallow angle. Monroe went on to say that this occurred another 9 times over the next 6 weeks, culminating in his first out-of-body experience. Monroe recorded his account in his 1971 book, Journeys Out of the Body, and went on to become a prominent researcher in the field of human consciousness. Monroe later authored 2 more books on his experiments with OBE, 1985's Far Journeys and the 1994's Ultimate Journey. In 1962, the company moved to Virginia, and a few years later changed the corporate name to Monroe Industries. In this location, it became active in radio station ownership, cable television, and later in the production and sale of audio cassettes.
So nobody's supposed to
These cassettes were
comment
expressions
to
of
girls?
the discoveries made in the
Is that what you're
earlier
saying?
ongoing corporate research program. In 1985,
Men are not supposed to comment to girls?
to Interstate Industries Incorporated. This
So
reflected
what about
Monroe's analogy
a
of how the
grandfather
use of hemi-sync
talking to
served
his
as a
granddaughter?
ramp from the local road
He's not supposed
the
to comment to
interstate,
her?
in allowing people to go full steam ahead in the exploration of consciousness, avoiding all of the stops and starts. Robert Monroe's leadership of the entire program of development was supported for more than 50 years by many specialists.
Why would a
who
random
continued
stranger
their
comment to a
participation
young
this
girl
day.
for?
His daughter, Lori Monroe, continued her father's research into consciousness and the mind's potential until her death in 2006. Under the current direction of another of Monroe's daughters, Maria Monroe Whitehead, Monroe's stepson, A.J. Honeycutt, and Teresa West, president of Monroe Products, the company's objective is to continue to expand the hemi-sync line of products and their benefits into markets worldwide. Controlled studies of the Institute's
I don't think
technology
no old men are
suggests that
paying
it is
attention
effective
to
as an
any
analgesic supplement
young
and
girls.
can reduce hospital discharge times. The Institute has an affiliated professional membership and also publishes scientific papers on a subset
Have
of
you
its
seen
own studies
online
of altered states of
daters
consciousness.
and they get like
In its in-house
tracked
laboratory,
down?
these states,
I
or
heard
focus
of
levels,
it
are typically induced
not
by
seen.
delivering hemi-sync signals.
Online daters getting tracked down? I don't know. I don't do
$42,166
online
paycheck.
dating.
Then I've got
Are typically induced
I couldn't
by
tell you. I don't do
delivering
online
hemi-sync
dating.
signals to subjects before
If I
the
didn't meet you face to
relaxation
face, we
procedures
most
inside
likely
a
are not gonna date.
sense-depriving isolation tank. Progression through states is detected and monitored by measurement of peripheral skin temperature, galvanic
anyone
skin
for that
response,
matter.
and DC skin potential voltage.
I'm old school. I meet
In
people face to
1994,
face.
a front-page article in the Wall Street Journal
I used
reported
to,
confirmation
but
from
I
the
have
former director of the Intelligence
What?
and Security Command of the U.S. Army sending personnel to the Institute.
ARLBF.
It
I
also
don't know what that
stated the
means.
opinion of the head of the Zen Buddhist
I'm
temple in
not in
Vancouver,
tune with
British Columbia,
the way younger
gateway
people
students
text.
can reach meditation states in
I
a
may
week
look young,
that
but I'm
took
not.
30
I'm
years
not
of
young.
sitting. A reporter for The Hook, weekly newspaper for Charlottesville, Virginia, who visited the Monroe Institute, said, "With a few exceptions, the only normal people with
And
whom I
was
could
it I
fully
real
identify
life?
were the trainers,
And
who
BF
seemed
means
remarkably
boyfriend. Oh,
well-grounded
okay.
for people whose day-to-day
So you
experiences
said you
included
used
astral
what?
projection and
I
disembodied
used
spirits.
to laugh out loud, but
The
I
reporter
have
also
a
concluded But
Real boyfriend.
there is something
Oh.
significant being developed.
So why aren't you
at
with
the
your
Institute.
boyfriend then?
Whether it's just a brilliant guided meditation, complete with trance-inducing stereoscopic sound, or a doorway to a world of spirit entities, I cannot say. Experts Robert Bruce, William Burlman, Marilyn Hughes and Albert Taylor have discussed their theories and findings on the syndicated show Coast to Coast AM several times. Michael Crichton gave lengthy and detailed explanations and experience of astral projection in his non-fiction book, Travels. In her book, My Religion, Helen Keller tells of her beliefs in Swedenborganism and how she once travelled to Athens. I have been far away all this time, and I haven't left the room. It was clear to me that it was because I was a spirit that I had so vividly seen and felt a place 1,000 miles away. Space was nothing to spirit. The soul's ability to leave the body at will, or while sleeping, and visit the various planes of heaven is also known as soul travel. The practice is taught in Sarat Shab Yoga, where the experience is achieved mostly by meditation techniques and mantra repetition.
So nope, online
All
dating
Sant Mat gurus widely spoke about this kind of out-of-body experience, such as Kapal Singh. In occult traditions,
yeah, online
practices
dating is
range from
for
inducing trance states
people
to
that
the
don't have
mental construction of a
communication
second body,
skills.
called the body of light,
They don't know how to
in Aleister
communicate.
Crowley's writings. Through visualization and controlled breathing, followed by the transfer of consciousness to the secondary body by mental act of will. There is no known scientific evidence that astral projection as an objective phenomenon exists. There are cases of patients having experiences suggestive of astral projection from brain stimulation treatments and hallucinogenic drugs such as ketamine, phencyclidine, and DMT.
Gotcha. I understand what you mean now.
Which brings us to another interesting aspect of the astral worlds: avatars. An avatar is a concept in Hinduism that means descent, is the material appearance or incarnation of a deity on earth. The relative verb to alight, to make one's appearance, is sometimes used to refer to any guru or revered human being. The word avatar does not appear in the Vedic literature, but appears in verb forms in post-Vedic literature and as a noun, particularly in the Puranic literature.
Do I want you to go or stay?
CE.
That's up to you. If you want to go, you can go. If you want to stay, you can stay.
Is compatible
I don't, however you want to do it.
Literature, like the Upanishads,
I can't make you leave or make you stay.
Of the Sanguna Brahman concept in the philosophy of Hinduism. The Rig Veda describes Indra as endowed with a mysterious power of assuming any form at will. The Bhagavad Gita expounds the doctrine of avatara, but with terms other than avatar. Theologically, the term is most often associated with the Hindu god Vishnu, though the idea has been applied to other deities. Varying lists of avatars of Vishnu appear in Hindu scriptures, including the 10 Dashavatara of the Garuda Purana and the 22 avatars in the Bhagavata Purana, though the latter adds that the incarnations of Vishnu are innumerable. The avatars of Vishnu are important in Vaishnavism theology. In the goddess-based Shaktism tradition of Hinduism, avatars of the Devi in different appearances, such as Tripura, Sundari, Durga, and Kali, are commonly found, while avatars of other deities, such as Ganesha and Shiva, are also mentioned in medieval Hindu texts. This is minor and occasional.
No, they not. They not looking good these days.
The
Stop
incarnation
it.
doctrine is one of the important differences between Vaishnavism and Shaivism traditions of Hinduism.
Airlines.
Incarnation concepts similar to avatar are also found in Buddhism, Christianity, and other religions. The scriptures of Sikhism include the names of numerous Hindu gods and goddesses, but it rejected the doctrine of savior incarnation and endorsed the view of Hindu Bhakti movement saints such as Namda, that formless eternal God is within the human heart, and man is his own saviour. Avatar literally means descent, a light, to make one's appearance, and refers to the embodiment of the essence of a superhuman being, or a deity in another form. The word also implies to overcome, to remove, to bring down, to cross something. In Hindu traditions, the crossing or coming down is symbolism, states Daniel Busak, of the divine descent from eternity into the temporal realm, from unconditioned to the conditioned, from infinitude to finitude. An avatar, states Justin Edwards Abbott, is a Sanguna embodiment of the Naguna Brahman or Atman. Neither the Vedas nor the principal Upanishads ever mention the word avatar as a noun. Uses other terms such as the word Sambhavami in verse 4.6 and the word Tanu in verse 9.11 of the Bhagavad Gita, as well as other words such as Akriti and Rupa elsewhere. It is in medieval era texts, those composed after the 6th century CE, that the noun version of avatar appears, where it means embodiment of a deity. The idea proliferates thereafter in the Puranic stories for many deities, and with ideas such as Ansha.
What you're looking at is a sty or an eye duct that has been clogged, and it could potentially lead to an infection. A lot of people are actually getting this, and it's more common than you recognize, but one of the reasons why they keep getting it is because they're not getting rid of the underlying issue, which is that their eye ducts are actually getting clogged. There's many reasons for this. One of the reasons is that maybe they're wearing a lot of makeup and they're not removing it appropriately at the end of the night, so they're sleeping with clogged ducts, and that over time can cause inflammation. Whether you have something called a collision, which is just inflamed eye ducts, or you have something called a sty, which is caused by an infection because of blocked eye ducts, that in itself could be relieved with warm compress. What you do is you warm up a towel ducts. I typically will use baby shampoo, dab a little bit of baby shampoo in a warm towel and putting it in your eye.
Avatar or partial embodiments. The term avatar, in colloquial use, is also an epithet or a word of reference for any extraordinary human being who is revered for his or her ideas. In some contexts, the term avatara just means a landing place, site of sacred pilgrimage, or just achieve one's goals after effort, or retranslation of a text in another language. The term avatar is not unique to Hinduism. It is found in the Trikaya doctrine of Mahayana Buddhism, in descriptions for the Dalai Lama in Tibetan Buddhism, and many ancient cultures. The manifest embodiment is sometimes referred to as an incarnation. The translation of avatar as incarnation has been questioned by Christian theologians, who state that an incarnation is in flesh and imperfect, while avatar is mythical and perfect. The theological concept of Christ as an incarnation, as found in Christology, presents the Christian concept of incarnation. According to
Wow, look at this. 94% of people believe company culture is important to an organization.
concept of incarnation. According to
Who's in the
Odie
building?
and Vroom, this is different from the Hindu concept of avatar, because avatars in Hinduism are unreal and is similar to docetism. Sheikh disagrees and states that this claim is an incorrect understanding of the Hindu concept of avatar. Avatars are true embodiments of spiritual perfection, one driven by noble goals in Hindu traditions such as Vaishnavism. The concept of avatar within Hinduism is most often associated with Vishnu, the preserver or sustainer aspect of God within the Hindu trinity, or trimurti of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Vishnu's avatars descend to empower the good and fight evil, thereby restoring Dharma. Traditional Hindus see themselves not as Hindu, but as Vaishnava, the worshippers of Vishnu, Shaiva, the worshippers of Shiva, or Shakta, the worshipper of the Shakti. Each of the deities has its own iconography and mythology, but common to all is the fact that the divine reality has an explicit form, a form that the worshipper can behold. The Vishnu avatars appear in Hindu mythology whenever the cosmos is in crisis, typically because the evil has grown stronger and has thrown the cosmos out of its balance. The avatar then appears in a material form to destroy evil and its sources, and restore the cosmic balance between the ever-present forces of good and evil. The most known and celebrated avatars of Vishnu within the Vaishnavism traditions of Hinduism are Krishna, Rama, Narayana, and Vasudeva. These names have extensive literature associated with them. Each has its own characteristics, legends, and associated arts. The Mahabharata, for example, includes Krishna, while the Ramayana includes Rama. The 10 best-known avatars of Vishnu are collectively known as the Dasavatara, a Sanskrit compound meaning 10 avatars. 5 different lists are included in the Bhagavata Purana, where the difference is in the sequence of the names. Frida Matchett states that this resequencing by the composers may be intentional, so as to avoid implying priority or placing something definitive and limited to the abstract. Linga Sarira is a Sanskrit term for the invisible double of the human body, the ethereal body, or etheric double, or astral body in some theosophical concepts. It is one of the 7 principles of the human being, according to theosophical philosophy. Rudolf Steiner, the founder of anthroposophy, often referred to the etheric body, aetherlieb or life body, in association with the etheric formation forces and the evolution of man and the cosmos. According to him, it can be perceived by a person gifted with clairvoyance as being of peach blossom color. Steiner considered the etheric reality or life principle as quite distinct from the physical material reality, being intermediate between the physical world and the astral or soul world. The etheric body can be characterized as the life force also present in the plant kingdom. It maintains the physical body's form until death. At that time, it separates from the physical body, and the physical reverts to natural disintegration. According to Max Heindel's Rosicrucian writings, the etheric body, composed of 4 ethers, is called the vital body, since the ether is the way of ingress for vital force from the sun and the field of agencies in nature, which promote such vital activities as assimilation, growth, and propagation. It is an exact counterpart of our physical body, molecule for molecule and organ for organ, but it is of the opposite polarity. It is slightly larger, extending about 1 1/2 inches beyond the periphery of the physical body. Samael Aun-Weir teaches that the vital body is the tetradimensional part of the physical body and the foundation of organic life. He states that in the second initiation of fire, the Kundalini rises in the vital body. Then the initiate learns how to separate the 2 superior ethers from each other in order for them to serve as a vehicle to travel out of the physical body.
Ooh-wee.
In the teachings of theosophy, devas are regarded as living either in the atmospheres of the planets of the solar system,
Somebody
known as
said it.
planetary angels, or inside the sun, known as solar angels. Presumably, other planetary systems and stars have their own angels, and they help to guide the operation of the processes of nature, such as the process of evolution and the growth of plants. Their appearance is reputedly like coloured flames, about the size of a human being. It is believed by theosophists that devas can be observed when the third eye is activated. Some, but not most, devas originally incarnated as human beings. It is believed by theosophists that nature spirits, elementals like gnomes, undines, sylphs, and salamanders, and fairies, can also be observed when the third eye is activated. It is maintained by theosophists that these less evolutionary developed beings have never been previously incarnated as human beings. They are regarded as on a separate line of spiritual evolution called the Deva evolution. Eventually, as their souls advance, as they reincarnate, it is believed they will incarnate as Devas. It is asserted by theosophists that all of the above-mentioned beings possess etheric bodies, but no physical bodies, that are composed of etheric matter, a type of matter finer and more pure that is composed of smaller particles than ordinary physical
Y'all tell me
plane
what y'all
matter.
want to talk about.
An out-of-body experience is a form of autoscopy.
I got a lot of
being
information,
literally
but
seeing oneself.
I'm going
Although the
to
term autoscopy
give
most
out the
commonly refers to
information
the pathological condition
once we
of
get a
seeing
certain number
second
of people
self,
on.
or doppelganger. A form of spontaneous OBE is the near-death experience, or NDE for short.
Or if I got to do
Some
this,
subjects
stop this
report
and do it
having
again
had
later on,
OBE at times
will.
of severe physical trauma, such as near drownings or major surgery. Near-death experiences may include subjective impressions of being outside the physical body, sometimes visions of deceased relatives and religious figures, and transcendence of ego and spatio-temporal boundaries. Typically, the experience includes such factors as a sense of being dead, a feeling of peace and painlessness, hearing of various non-physical sounds, an out-of-body experience, a tunnel experience, the sense of moving up or through a narrow passageway, encountering beings of light, and a godlike figure or similar entities, being given a life review, and a reluctance to return to life. Along the same lines as an NDE, extreme physical effort during activities such as high-altitude climbing and marathon running can induce OBEs. A sense of bilocation may be experienced, with both ground and air-based perspectives being experienced simultaneously. Falling asleep physically without losing awareness, the mind-awake, body-asleep state, is widely suggested as a cause for OBEs, voluntarily and otherwise. Thomas Edison used this state to tackle problems while working on his inventions. He would rest a silver dollar on his head while sitting with a metal bucket in a chair. As he drifted off, the coin would noisily fall into the bucket, restoring some of his alertness. OBE pioneer Sylvain Muldoon, more simply, used a forearm held perpendicular in bed as the falling object. Salvador Dali was said to use a similar paranoid critical method to gain odd visions, which inspired his paintings. Deliberately teetering between awake and asleep states is known to cause spontaneous trance episodes at the onset of sleep,
She look just like
which
her
are
mama,
ultimately
boy.
helpful
Goodness
when
gracious.
attempting to induce an
She
OBE.
look just like her mama.
By
Kitty,
moving deeper
boy.
and deeper into
Younger
relaxation,
version of Dog,
one
boy.
eventually
Goodness
encounters a
gracious.
slipping feeling if the mind is still alert.
Visit the Northwest Florida beaches and find the adventurous side of beachside. Here, you can always expect to encounter the unexpected, and every trail is a road less traveled. Discover more at northwestfloridabeaches.com.
Chest, feet, and even down there. That's care everywhere.
This slipping is reported to feel like leaving the physical body. Some consider progressive muscle relaxation a passive form of sensory deprivation. Deep trance, meditation, and visualization. The types of visualizations vary. Some common analogies include climbing a rope to pull out of one's body, floating out of one's body, getting shot out of a cannon, and other similar approaches. This technique is considered hard to use for people who cannot properly relax. One example of such a technique is the popular Golden Dawn body of light technique. Brainwave synchronization via audio-visual stimulation. Binaural beats can be used to induce specific brainwave frequencies, notably those prominent in various mind-awake, body-asleep states. Binaural induction of a body asleep, 4 Hz brainwave frequency, was observed as effective by the Monroe Institute, and some authors consider binaural beats to be significantly supportive of OBE initiation when used in conjunction with other techniques. Simultaneous introduction of mind-awake beta frequencies, detectable in the brains of normal, relaxed, awake individuals, was also observed as constructive. Another popular technique uses sinusoidal wave pulses to achieve similar results, and the drumming accompanying Native American religious ceremonies is also believed to have heightened receptivity to other worlds through brainwave entrainment mechanisms. Sensory deprivation. This approach aims to induce intense disorientation by removal of space and time references. Flotation tanks or pink noise played through headphones are often employed for this purpose. Sensory overload, the opposite of sensory deprivation. The subject can, for instance, be rocked for a long time in a specifically designed cradle, or submitted to light forms of torture to cause the brain to shut itself off from all sensory input. Both conditions tend to cause confusion, and this disorientation often permits the subject to experience vivid, ethereal, out-of-body experiences.
Y'all gonna come to my next channel. I got the world tour coming up. The world tour.
For example, in high-performance aircraft or high-G training for
We're
pilots
touring the
and
country
astronauts.
and the world,
An
and we're doing
apparatus
real
that
estate
uses
deals
head-mounted
all over the
display
place.
and a touch that confuses the sense of proprioception, and which can also create the sensation of additional limbs. In the fields of cognitive science and psychology, OBEs are considered dissociative experiences arising from different psychological and neurological factors. Scientists consider the OBE to be an experience from a mental state, like a dream or an altered state of consciousness, without recourse to the paranormal. In case studies, fantasy proneness has been shown to be higher among OBEs than those who have not had an OBE. The data has shown a link between the OBE experience in some cases to fantasy-prone personality. In a case study involving 167 participants, the findings revealed that those who claimed to have experienced the OBE were more fantasy-prone, higher in their belief in the paranormal, and displayed greater somatoform dissociation. Research from studies has also suggested that OBEs are related to cognitive perceptual schizotypy. In 2003, Professor of Neurology Terence Hines wrote that spontaneous out-of-body experiences can be generated by artificial stimulation of the brain, and this strongly suggests that the OBE experience is caused from temporary minor brain malfunctions, not by the person's spirit, or whatever, actually leaving the body. In a study review of neurological and neurocognitive data, it was written that OBEs are due to functional disintegration of lower-level multisensory processing and abnormal higher-level self-processing at the temporoparietal junction. Some scientists suspect that OBEs are the result of a mismatch between visual and tactile signals. Writers within the fields of parapsychology and occultism have written that OBEs are not psychological and that a soul, spirit, or subtle body can detach itself out of the body and visit distant locations. Out-of-the-body experiences were known during the Victorian period in spiritualist literature as travelling clairvoyance. The psychical researcher Frederick Myers referred to the OBE as a psychical excursion. An early study which described alleged cases of OBEs was the 2-volume Phantasms of the Living, published in 1886 by the psychical researchers Edmund Gurney, Myers, and Frank Podmore. The book was largely criticized by the scientific community as the anecdotal reports lacked evidential substantiation in nearly every case. The paranormal interpretation
Y'all
of
leave a
OBEs
comment
has not been supported by all
after this is
researchers
seen.
within the study of parapsychology. In 1961, psychologist and parapsychologist Gardner Murphy wrote that OBEs are not very far from the known terrain of general psychology,
I'm looking
which
to
we are
build a
beginning
group
to understand
of
more
people
and more without
all over the
recourse to
country.
paranormal.
I plan on traveling,
In
doing
the
a world tour,
1970s, Latvian
and actually meeting with
psychologist
people,
Carlis Osis
doing business
conducted
deals
many
all over the
OBE
country and around the
experiments
world.
with the psychic Alex Tanos. For a series of these experiments, he was asked,
I want this to
while
be
in
a
an
genuine
OBE
channel
state, to
with
try to
genuine
identify
subscribers,
coloured
genuine
targets
people.
that were placed in
I don't really
remote
care about
locations.
growing a subscriber list, but
Osis
obviously
reported
that's what's
that
going to
in
end up happening.
197 trials, there
Ultimately,
were
the goal is to
114 hits.
create
However,
long-term
the controls to
connections
the
with the
experiments have
people,
been
because at
criticised,
the end of the
and
day,
according
it's
to
the
Suzanne
people
Blakemore,
that create
the final result was not
these
particularly
channels.
significant,
Because if there's
as
nobody's watching,
108 hits would be expected
right?
by chance.
But the world tour,
Blackmore noted
it's
that
coming.
the results
Traveling
provide
all over the
no
world
evidence
doing
for accurate
transactions.
perception in the OBE.
And I might be in your neck of the
In
woods.
April 1977, a
So I want
patient
everybody
from
to leave a
Harvard
comment.
Medical
Tell me where
Center,
you're from.
known as Maria,
Put your
claimed
city
to have
and
experienced
your
an
state.
out-of-body experience.
All right. So I want you to put your city and state in the comments. Anyone who ever sees this video, put your city and state in the comments. I am actually looking to acquire real estate all over the country, specifically commercial real estate, but I am interested in residential real estate as well. So leave a comment with your city and state. I actually may be coming to your area and actually doing real estate transactions. So that's how I plan on connecting with people on here, is actually coming to your neck of the woods. If I'm doing a real estate transaction, you can come out and actually see me face to face. So I'm not doing too much of this on the social media thing. It's not really what I really want to do, but the goal is to build a team of people, like-minded people who want to actually make some real money. Right? Let's go.
During her OBE, she claimed to have floated outside her body and outside of the hospital.
I'm not like these YouTubers
Maria
who
would
just
later
sit
tell
behind a
her social
camera
worker,
and they
Kimberly
want you just to
Plum,
subscribe
that during the
just so they can
OBE,
make
she
more
had
money
observed
through
a tennis shoe on the
YouTube. What
third
is it?
floor
The
window ledge
YouTube
on
partner
the north
program.
side of the
It's
building.
cool and everything, but
Clark
when it's
would
all
go to
said
the
and
north
done,
wing of the
I
building,
think
and by
everyone
looking
should be
out of the
establishing
window, could
themselves
see a tennis
in their
shoe
life.
on one of the
When it's all said and done, I think people should be establishing themselves in their life personally, right? Because once you're settled and set within yourself, it doesn't matter if you go big on YouTube. You still stable, your finances is good, right? Now, if the YouTube thing happens at a later point in time, that's just the plus. But the ultimate goal is to be able to work with you people, work with the people, and be able to generate income first. Then you guys can focus on going live on YouTube, because I'm assuming that a lot of people that comes on here may not be, should I say, on YouTube, or even, don't have a community that they can actually call home. So this is what this is.
ledges. Clark published the account in 1985.
We're real
The
over
story
here.
has since been used in many paranormal books as evidence a spirit can leave
I'll
the
come
body.
right to your neighborhood and
In
talk to you face to
1996,
face. That's what I'm
investigators
about.
Hayden Evan, Sean
I'm not the
Mulligan,
one
and
just to
Barry
sit behind a
Bayerstein
camera and talk
visited
trash
the
all
medical
day
center to
and look
investigate the
good
story.
behind the camera. No.
They placed
I
the
plan
tennis
on
shoe
actually
on the
coming
same
to your
ledge
neck of the
and
woods.
discovered
So
that the
again,
shoe was
I
visible.
want everybody to, whoever sees this video at a later point in time, leave a comment, put your city and your state in the comments, and I will most likely be coming to that area and doing a real estate or business transaction all over the world, all over the country. Let's go.
From within the building and could have easily been observed by a patient lying in bed. They also discovered the shoe was easily observable from outside the building and suggested that Maria may have overheard a comment about it during her 3 days in the hospital and incorporated it into her OBE. They concluded, Maria's story merely reveals the naivety and the power of wishful thinking from OBE researchers seeking a paranormal explanation. Clark did not publish the description of the case until 7 years after it happened, casting doubt on the story. Richard Wiseman has said that although the story is not evident,
This is crazy. The kids is calling her out. I know that's right. The kids calling her out. She wrong for that. Asking a 13-year-old to pay the bills.
With my friends eating watermelon. I'm just with my friends eating watermelon.
That's crazy. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
What's up, love?
What's guys? Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, alaikum salam. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm great.
Okay. You just woke up? What's going on?
No,
No, okay.
I woke up, then I'm done praying.
Okay. All right.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. You know, I can't complain.
Alhamdulillah.
You know, complaining is not gonna make things good anyway. You gotta put some action behind it.
That's true.
You know, for sure. Okay. You rest well?
Yeah, alhamdulillah.